it, with the public voting for Nigel Farage and Nella last night to take on the very first eating trial, and Josie Gibson taking a Brexit swipe at Nigel straight off the bat. It was a pretty eventful first episode of I'm a Celeb.
And it's just a taste of plenty more to come for the campmates, as Darren Day and Christine Hamilton know all too well. Christine and Darren, hello, were part of the original I'm a Celeb lineup back in 2002. Does that bring back memories, Darren?
Oh, my Lord. I wish my stomach still looked like that, I know that much. But, yeah, it does. I mean...
21 years.
God, 21 years ago. I mean, we really were the jungle guinea pigs, because we just had no idea. You know, now, you go in now, you know exactly what the format is. But, I mean, honestly, there were times when I kind of wondered if a tabloid had set us all up to see how desperate we were for work.
No, ITV set us up.
Well, they did, but I thought, you know, have they just seen how desperate us celebrities are for work? So they've said, we're going to drop you in the jungle. Right, yeah. And then we're going to...
You had no idea how massively it was playing back here at home, did you? You didn't know that it was an overnight phenomenon.
Yeah, I think the time it hits you, and then it's like that moment people talk about when they have a near-death experience and the whole life flashes in front of them, is when you sit with Ant and Dec and then they get the front pages of the Sun and the Mirror, and you kind of... And then everything that's happened over the time you've been in the jungle flashes in front of your eyes, and that was not a pleasant experience for me.
What are your chief memories, Christine?
I loved it. But I did honestly think, as Darren says, we didn't know what... I don't think ITV really knew how it was going to pan out. It was all a bit experimental.
Why did you do it? What made you say... Because you say you didn't know what it was...
Well, they first asked me to do it in the January of that year, and I said no. I said, what is this? And they talked about snakes and all that, and I thought, life is pretty grim at the moment. We weren't having a very good time. I thought, I don't need all that. I just said no. I had no idea what I was turning down. It was a life-changing moment for me, actually, doing it. Yeah. And then they got back to me. They obviously hadn't got their middle-aged mother hen. And it's all... Well, it's all about... Do you know, I was younger then than he is now.
Oh, my God.
You were still the mother hen.
I was the middle-aged mother hen. I was, yes.
Now, Richard says, why did you do it? Of course,
it's a job.
It's a job. You work in television, so, you know, it's a job. But the allegation is that Nigel Farage is being paid £1.5 million. Not many people would need to be asked twice to do a job for that amount of money. Do you think that that's the case? We've described you variously throughout the morning as his bestie, as his friend. You'd like to clarify, you know him?
Yeah, we're definitely not besties. And we've been political colleagues for... in fact, it was because I went in the jungle that he first hipped on me and on Neil as well. So we've known each other since I came out of the jungle. But we've been political associates and colleagues. We were very good friends, but we've kind of drifted apart. So bestie is absolutely not right.
Do you think he's getting £1.5 million? And if he was, would you think that that was justified?
I have absolutely no idea. It seems to me a little excessive. And I'm sure the money has something to do with it. But I think, you know, Nigel is a performer. Nigel is a political animal before he's a jungle animal. And he sees this as an amazing opportunity to get his message across to young people. I mean, the demographic that watches the jungle are under 40, 35s, etc. They're not the older people who might know Nigel of old.
Well, he seems to have been saying in the interviews he did before he went out to Australia, what he seems to be saying is, I want to show the world that I'm actually a nice guy. That seems to be his core ambition.
He's very personable. He gets on with people. But there are sparks will fly because, you know, he can go like that.
Yeah.
And one or two people may just wind him up. And they'll all be fine to start with because it's all fresh and it's new and they're still got their bellies full from, you know, beforehand. Once the rice and beans start to hip in and once the fact they've had no coffee, no alcohol, no cigarettes, apparently, Nigel will not be allowed cigarettes.
Oh, I thought he was allowed a fag break.
Well, if he's allowed a fag break, the others are quite right in saying, I want, because...
We weren't, were we?
Well, don't you remember Tara was... She threatened to jump out because she hadn't got her cigarettes. They gave her patches. That didn't calm her shakes. They gave her cigarettes, and we had a riot. We went to the middle of the camp, the girls, it was me, Nell and Rona, and we stood there shouting at everybody who would listen. Wasn't on air. If she's getting cigarettes, I want my wine. And Nell said, I want my chocolates. And we got them.
Well,
Darren, it was a different
for you.
For you, wasn't it? Because you were there trying to stay sober.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'll be very candid with you this morning because I find when I'm candid about, you know, being in recovery and stuff like that, I get people messaging me on social media saying that speaking out helps them.
Yeah.
And so I do. But I will level with you, and I've never said this publicly before, but I went cold turkey.
On what? On drink, drugs, or both?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I ask what drugs?
Cocaine. Yeah, the demon powder. The demon powder and the demon drink. And, yeah, I literally went cold turkey in front of the whole country.
So when did you have your last drink and your last snort of cocaine? The day before you went in?
I was smashed when I got on the plane.
Really?
I was, you know, I leveled,
you really went
you know. I'm sure the producers of everybody's talking about Jamie, which I'm about to go into, are thinking, "Shut up, Darren, shut up." But look, you know, I champion people. You know, I encourage people to speak out about mental health, about addiction.
So it's one of the reasons you went in. I was asking why she went in. Christy went in. Was one of the reasons because you thought, I will have to go cold turkey. This will have to be my chance to get...
No, I didn't think about that. I think if I'd have thought about that, I might have thought twice. Yeah. It was just, to be honest with you, what I thought that it was going to be more like, you know, the Celebrity SAS show. I thought, you know, in the jungle, I thought it would be that kind of physical kind of...
You'd have to catch fish to eat and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly that.
Not psychological.
Yeah, no. But it's all about up there. You know, having now done Big Brother and Celebrity Get Me Out of It, the main reason I did Big Brother was to try and redeem myself because I am so ashamed of the Celebrity Get Me Out of Here. It's been a massive regret, and I've carried it around like a weight on my shoulders.
What did you do?
Because I was just an idiot, and like I'm not surprised people didn't like me. So I just kind of, with Big Brother, I wanted to have the opportunity just for, you can't make people like you, but just for the media and the public to make an opinion of me now.
Did you, can I just ask, did you confide off camera, as it were, although you never are off camera, but did you confide in Christine that you were going cold turkey?
No, I didn't tell anybody.
She didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
This is the first time.
I know, I've never heard you say it before.
This is the first time I've ever publicly said that. I've not even really told that many people in my life. Mum, sorry. Yeah, well, now you know at least, you know. So you don't have to tell people because I've told everybody.
So when you came out, how many days were you in there for?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. When you came out, were you clean? And did you find it possible to stay clean?
I was straight back.
Were you?
Straight back into active addiction.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, straight back into active addiction.
Did you get support?
Look, I'm still, truthfully, you know, OK, I relapsed at the beginning of the first lockdown. You know, so I am just coming up for 3.5 years.
Right.
Well done.
I had
That's a massive
That's a long time, isn't it?
Thank you. And as I've said before, I owe my life to my pal Robbie Williams because in 2019, I broke down to Rob and he sent me to rehab in South Africa and I was given 6 months to live. In the month of
Was that because of the booze?
Everything.
Everything.
I was... everything. I was in an absolute state. I broke down to Rob and he said, "Leave everything to me, mate." And without Rob,
saved your life.
Without Rob, I would not be on this planet without a question of a doubt. And because he'd been through all of it years before, he knew what to do. And even now, you know, I mean, we FaceTimed 4 nights ago, and it's just the most incredible support to me. I owe my life to him.
Christine,
amazing.
You're hearing this for the first time.
Absolutely, I had no idea. I'm wondering if the producers of the show knew.
No, I don't think anybody
knew. I don't think
knew.
anybody did.
No,
well,
nobody knew.
To be honest, it's amazing with hindsight that you held it together as well as you did, because suddenly to come off drugs just like that, come off a cliff, and then have to face
I know, but my behaviour was so erratic, wasn't it? You know, if you look...
Because at the beginning of this interview, it's interesting, you just dropped a clue there that at the end, when you see Ant and Dec and you have that moment of reckoning of how the papers have reported...
Devastated.
And you said... I saw the front pages and I thought to myself, what was it on the front pages that you were so worried about?
Well, I was like a headless chicken in life, generally. And then, you know, reality shows like Big Brother and Celebrity Get Me Out of It, even though, you know, when you say to people, it's really hard, people are like, oh, come on, But psychologically, it is a real tough... And you've got to be in a really good place to handle 31 days in Big Brother or 2 or 3 weeks in the jungle. And so I was struggling with day-to-day life, and then suddenly I'm thrown onto a reality show. And as I said, I was... God, this has turned into a very different interview. I am doing Everybody's Talking About Jamie, by the way.
I was going to ask you that. Let's get that in. You're on tour. Everyone's talking about Jamie. Quickly, tell us where.
Well, no, so I'm very excited. So I've just finished in the Twiggy musical in London, Ben Elton's new show. I finished that Saturday night, and I open in Blackpool tomorrow night, and Everybody's Talking About Jamie. And Llandudno next week, and then we do Oxford.
But you'll have to improve your pronunciation before you get to
Llandudno. And then Oxford over Christmas, 12th of December, 30th to the 30th of December, New Theatre Oxford. Now the producers are happy with me.
Yes.
Yeah, but you've got to,
I'm going to say, Darren, you have no worries about what people think about what you've said, because, as you say, people being honest about it. There's a new culture around being open about these things. There is no shame in addiction. There really isn't. And to have remained sober and off drugs for as long as you have is no mean feat.
Thank you.
That shows an enormous amount.
Well, these days you're simply saying, I get ill.
I'm human.
I was ill.
I'm human. I'm not perfect.
And I do say it and speak out genuinely, not just saying this to help people, because you know, I'm in a great place now. Like, with the mental health, I'm on the right meds. With the addiction, I get the right help, and my life is so much better. My relationship with my children is magical, you know, and they're proud of their dad, and they celebrate, you know, sobriety dates with me and send me messages. Brilliant. And I'm very open, because, you know, they can Google me if and I've always said...
And they have.
Oh, they have. Sure. But I've always said they will never, ever see anything online that they haven't heard from me, or if a kid says something to them in the playground, they're going to say, yeah, I know that. My dad's already told me that. And that's what's been really important.
I think it's incredibly brave of you to have gone into the jungle all those years ago, knowing what we all now know. Incredible, because you must have known that you weren't going to have all these things. And to do that publicly must have taken huge courage.
I just don't think I thought about it, really. No. You know.
Oh, yes, OK. There's that other one.
I feel like it's a privilege to talk to you about it, and it will help. Well done, Darren. Thanks so much.
No, really, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing us together.
Our pleasure.
And well done to Robbie for looking after you as well.
I know.
Love you, Rob.
Absolutely.
Love you, Rob.
Thank you both very much indeed. If you would like to find out more information, perhaps you're in the same situation or you know someone who is, we've got helplines online. That's where you can find advice and support.